All right, Coach, I think we're ready. Are you ready for us?
Yeah, fire away.
All right, we'll start first with Vahe Gregorian. Go ahead, Vahe.
Good morning, Andy.
All right, bye.
Hey, I just thinking back a little bit to what Steve Spagnuolo has been able to do for you, and I know it seems like a little while ago now, but can you just remind us what it was, or share what it was that made you really think of him at that point, and the attributes that he was going to bring to you?
Yeah, well, I've known Steve forever, and he's been a phenomenal coach in this league. So whether it was defensively or the head coaching stint that he had. So I think the world of him as a person, but likewise I respect him like crazy as a coach. So it was really a no-brainer at that point to bring him in.
We'll go next to Nancy Armour. Go ahead, Nancy.
Morning, Andy. You talked a lot about Patrick and how impressed you've been with his maturity. And I'm wondering, if you could kind of forecast and look out, 15, 20 years, what kind of influence he can have, not just on the NFL, but overall, given what he's already doing in terms of social justice, investing in the Kansas City community. Could you see him reaching a level like LeBron in terms of just influence and impact overall?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think he's got a way about him where he understands people, and they are interested in things that he has to say or back and believe in. So I think that presents yourself with a good combination to whatever platform that you want to support or take, that you have that ability.
We'll go next to Neil Reynolds. Go ahead, Neil.
Hey, Coach. It's Neil from Sky Sports in the UK.
Yes, Neil.
You hear a lot of your current players and former players saying you play with Andy Reid, not for Andy Reid. And I wonder if that's a big thing for you, and if you could maybe talk about some of your approaches and philosophies as a coach.
Yeah, sure. I think we all want to be treated a certain way, and if not, I know how I like to be treated, and that's tell me what I need to do to get better at what I'm trying to get accomplished, and so you don't necessarily have to yell and scream at me to get me to do something better. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily the best approach. And then I think after a little while, I know myself, I just would turn that person off and probably not listen to anything they said. So I kind of go about it that way. I just say, listen, I'm trying to treat people the way I'd want to be treated, and I think whether it's through what I've learned in church or family, I think we're here as teachers, and that's what I do. So that's how I look at myself as a teacher, and of, in my case, men, young men, and whether it's on the field or off the field, if I can give them any experience to help them that I might have had to help them become better players or husbands, whatever it might be, fathers, I try to do that.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, good morning, Andy. I wanted to ask about Daryl Williams. You guys have brought in a lot of backs the last couple of years, but Daryl's still around, and you're turning to him in some big moments. I know there were some injuries also. What is it about Daryl? Can you kind of sum him up, what you like about him, particularly in these big moments?
Yeah, that was the only thing that was really holding Daryl back, was just being able to stay healthy consistently. And he spent so much time rehabbing this past off season, got himself in a great shape, caught a couple breaks. I mean, what you need. I mean, he's always worked hard. It's just he got nicked up. So he was able to for the most part, stay injury free, and he put together this season, and it's not over yet. He's got one more game left here, but he sure has had a good season to this point. And I would tell you, Adam, that he's really a smart football player. So we're seeing it. You see him produce on the field, but we all have confidence in him, whether it's third down blitz protection, whether it's blocking for another back, or you've seen him block for Tyreek at times, whether it's out catching a pass. He just has a real feel for it, and very instinctive, and likewise very smart.
We'll go next to Diana Rossini. Go, Diana. All right, Diana, we'll come right back to you. Let's go to Therese Paler. Go, Therese.
Coach Reid, how you doing this morning?
Good. Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks.
Hey, I was just wondering what has Le'Veon Bell brought to you guys? I know there's been a little injuries here, but how's he been handling his role here, and what kind of impact could you see him making in a week?
Yeah, I really like him. I like him as a kid, and I like him as a player. He brings that veteran experience. He's been the best in the business at what he's done. He's handled this role well. He loves to play. And he did, listen, he got a little bit nicked up. He's working through that. And, he gave us, a few good games in there where we really needed him. And if I go back to the New Orleans game and kind of putting the icing on the cake there with his run and so on. So there have been some real good production from him at important times during our season.
We'll go next to John Kirk with the Toronto Sun. Go, John.
Hey, Andy. The last 10 Super Bowl winning head coaches have been ages 65, 50, 62, 62, 54, 64, 50, 66, and 65s. And this year will be either 66 or 68, other than the jokes about not being spring chickens. But doesn't that speak to the fact that to succeed in the NFL as a head coach, you've really got to adapt with the times, because football changes as far as schematically more than probably every other sport every year. You've really got to be on top of that type of and have that mindset. I was just wondering if you could speak to that.
Yeah, well, I'm not quite 66 yet, but I appreciate you advancing me just a little bit. I'm still part of the Geritol crew, though, and we are a little bit older, and there is experience that comes with that, and I guess they say wisdom with age comes, that comes with it. But there are a lot of good young football coaches out there, and that I look forward to seeing continue to grow in this business. I mean, we're lucky to have them in the National Football League, and by chance, we're a few of the older guys have gotten to this point. And I'd probably attribute that to good players and then a little bit of experience there. And in my case, I'm fortunate to have a heck of a staff, that I've been able to accumulate here and gather for the last couple of years. So it's we've been very productive that way.
We'll go next to Sam Mellinger. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy. How you doing?
Good, Sam. Thanks.
I wanted to ask you about your offensive coordinator. How have you seen, there's been a lot of questions already this week. How have you seen him handle sort of the frustration of not being picked? And you've been very outspoken about your support and what you think of him in forums like this. But is there anything you can or have been doing sort of behind the scenes to, promote him or find out what's going on?
Yeah, well, I'll probably have more time to do that. The find out part later here. So once we get through this game, but I did have an opportunity to talk to a lot of the either owners or general managers that worked to interview them, presidents, so on. So I'll be curious to hear their comments about how he did, or whatever. Why he wasn't picked. But Eric Bieniemy works his tail off, and he is relentless in studying the game. He's relentless in studying what would be his plan as a head football coach. This guy doesn't miss a beat, and he was that way as a player. He's been that way as a coach, whether it was coaching the running backs or now working the offense as a whole, as the coordinator. So I don't understand everything. I'm not an owner. I don't sit in those meetings to interview head coaches, but I would just tell you that
I'm in the living room, Mom.
Whoever gets him, whenever they get him, will be very, very lucky.
We'll go next to Brooke Pryor. Go ahead, Brooke.
Hey, Andy. Good to see you. You and Bruce Arians have both assembled fairly diverse staffs, and his includes 2 women. I'm wondering, with the women on his staff and the women on staffs across the league, could you envision a time in the future where there are women on every staff? And have you come across any women you would consider adding at coaching clinics or just in things across the league?
Yeah, listen, Brooke, I keep an open mind on all that. I had a mother that was
How you feel?
a physician at a time when that was not very common. So, I mean, she was in that man's world, as you'd say, and working it every day for 30, 40 years, whatever it was that she worked. And so I've seen her, I saw her accomplishments, lived them. And yeah, I mean, I think it's an open forum. We have women in our training room and that do a phenomenal job. And so I'm always open to anything that makes you better. Yeah.
Let's try to go back to Diana Rossini. Go ahead, Diana.
All right, I think we can do it. Good morning.
Hi, Diana.
Andy, I got 2 quick ones for you. You mentioned, I got you. You mentioned that, you are a teacher of men. And when I hear the word teacher, it just reminds me of, my days in school. And the best teachers I had were always really hard on me and pushed. Have you ever had to have a difficult conversation with Patrick Mahomes to push him more? What's perhaps maybe the hardest you've ever had to coach him?
Yeah, so listen, what I do is I communicate. And I think if you tell the person the truth, whether it's a positive with their personality or play, or a negative with their personality or play, I think you keep that open in an open forum. It's no different than how you'd raise a child or a marriage or any relationship with another human being. I think communication becomes important. Once you stop that, now you get into the whole philosophical things of do I have to scream and holler? Does that to get across to this whatever that next step is. But I think if you just keep it open and real, I think that's the best way to roll with it. That's how I feel, and so that's how I've been with Patrick. So I never have to. I know he wants to be great, just like these guys. I'm in a business where these guys want to be the best. That's what they want to do. They don't want to be embarrassed. They don't want to embarrass themselves or family. They don't want to do that. That's just not what they want to do. And then they want, the thing I found with great players, they want you to give them one more thing so they can even be greater. And that's the way I approach it. Right or wrong, that's how I approach it.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, take care. Thank you.
Well,
All right,
folks,
that's
that was,
Patrick coming on podium 9 in a minute here.
folks, that was Andy Reid, the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. And as you said, Patrick Mahomes will be up momentarily on podium 9. So I'm going over to that podium right now. And I'm going to switch over. It's saying join now. So that's what we're going to do. that ended. Okay, so hold on a second. Sometimes it's a race against time here. I have to always input the email, which I just did. There's Podium 9.
Yep, let's do it.
And they don't even have Podium 9 activated. That's interesting. Let me see while they're getting their act together.
Step Mike's
Let
hot.
me go back and
You want to
get
sit down,
this
sit
one.
Neil, get you started here. Get you out. Good. Cool.
Okay. That's interesting. It says Podium 9. There's Podium 9, as you can see, but I don't see Mahomes. And let's make sure that we're in the right room. They may have moved.
Good morning, Patrick.
Morning.
Aha.
We're going to go ahead and start. And let's start with Nancy Armour. Go ahead, Nancy.
Thanks. Morning, Patrick. I know you were asked a little bit yesterday about your work in the community, speaking out on social justice, and I'm just curious, are there any current athletes that you have modeled yourself after in terms of that? LeBron is often held up as the example of somebody who's got an impact both on and off the field in business, community work. And so I'm just curious if there are any athletes that you look to and have kind of thought, yeah, I'd like to model myself after him or her.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great athletes that are doing things the right way. LeBron is one of them. He's someone that I can talk to and get advice from. But there's others. I mean, there's a ton of people that are using their voice to make a difference in this world. And I try to take from them and then kind of use my own voice and my own way to make an impact in my community.
Let's go next to Federico with Radio 13 in Mexico City. Go ahead, Federico. You got us?
Oh, thanks. Sorry. Hello, Pat. Good morning. Congratulations to being here in the Super Bowl 55. Greetings from Mexico City. You know, the defense from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers has improved from week 12. What are the things you think you have to do in order to damage them? And what are the keys do you think you want to do in order to win the next Sunday?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is going to be me just getting the ball out of my hands, getting it to the playmakers that I have around me. They have a really good defense, really good defensive line, linebackers, DBs, kind of the whole deal. And so for me, just trying to make positive plays and not making negative ones, and relying on the guys around me to make plays whenever the critical times rise.
We'll go next to Omar Ruiz. Go ahead, Omar.
Hey, Patrick. Good morning.
Good morning.
Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill have been great players for a long time now, but as a tandem, they're kind of doing some historical things. I'm just curious what you've seen from them, how they feed off of each other in reaching this greatness that they have.
Yeah, I think what makes each of them great really complements the other well. The fact that Tyreek can beat man coverage, catch over the top, be able to make big plays happen, opens up the middle of the field for Travis. And so to be able to have guys that complement each other so well and individually are such great talents, I think what makes them such a dynamic duo and a group of guys that I'm glad that are on my team.
We'll go next to Therese Paylor. Go ahead, Therese.
Hey, Patrick. Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, I just want to ask you a little bit about Eric Bieniemy. I know that you've been, pretty complimentary of what he's done. So 2 questions. First, could you tell us a little bit about how he's helped you really pick up protections? Because you've proven to be a man who in general can't be blitzed unless you make him pay if you do. And then secondly, I think I know the answer to this, but I'd like to hear your thoughts. How has he been working in the aftermath of his disappointment of the last hiring cycle? I'm sure you can't tell a difference, but just what's he been like in the room with you guys?
Yeah, first, protections-wise, he's the best of it as they come. the fact that he gives me every single tool that is needed so that I know exactly what to do. Even if I get an unscouted look, unscouted blitz, helps me go out there and be comfortable in the pocket and be able to get us to the right play and the right read. That comes straight from him and his film study and his studying of the opponent's defense. And then, honestly, I mean, there's been no difference. I think a big thing with him and what feeds into this team, especially during a year like this year, is he always preaches control what you can control, and that's your attitude, your work ethic every single day. And that's how he's been. I mean, obviously, he's disappointed he didn't get the opportunity to become a head coach after this season. But he knows that all he can do is make himself and this team better every single day. He comes to that mindset every single day, and it helps us be the best team that we can possibly be.
Okay, we'll go next to Soren Petro. Go ahead, Soren.
Patrick, one of the things that's been said down in Tampa, a lot of the old Bucks from when their last Super Bowl run was, they point back to an NFC Championship game where they took the Rams on turf and held them down score-wise. They lost that game, but the next year they came back and won the Super Bowl. And they talked about what we did was we hit them in the mouth. We knocked them around, and that's what this Bucks team has to do. That sounds easy, but when that's the mindset, what is it you guys do to try to neutralize that? If you know that the idea is, hey, we got to come rough up the receivers, we got to jam them. What is it you guys do to counterbalance that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was more of our team. Maybe we might not have been able to handle that with our team maybe in 2018, but we've been through those adversity, we've been through those battles. And if you watch our team, it's not just a fast flying show. We have a lot of physical guys on this team as well, and so we're ready for every single type of game that can be. If it's a physical game, we're ready for that. If it's a fast-paced game, we're ready for that. So we'll be ready to go. The guys are ready to play.
Let's go next to Mark Topkin. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, Patrick, you're talking about Kelsey.
I can't hear you. It's a little.
Got it now?
Yeah, there it is.
Now? Okay. Travis Kelsey, you've been with him a little bit socially. What is, we hear about Gronk and that lifestyle. What is Travis like, personality wise, lifestyle wise? Is he kind of in that same mold, or how would you describe him?
Yeah, I haven't had the opportunity to hang out with Gronk that much, but as far as Travis, I mean, he's just kind of he's just the life of the party. But at the same time, I mean, it amazes me how he's able to interact with every single person, every kid, every fan, and have the same energy every single day. I mean, I can say he might have a bad practice, then you can go watch him interact with the fans after practice. And I know he's really mad at himself for not practicing the right way, but he makes every single person feel like they're the most important person in the world. And that's truly something that I admire. I mean, for me, I try to present that to others. But the fact that he has that natural gift to really embrace everybody and really show love for everybody is truly a special component about him.
We'll go next to Jonathan Scott. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Good morning, Patrick, and happy Black History Month. Is there a certain way or feeling that you get about this Black History Month in 2021 compared to last year's?
I mean, yeah, in a sense. I mean, it's obviously very important every single year. But obviously with the things that we went through this my last off season, you really really understood the importance of it, of really learning our history and learning how far that we have come and how far we still have left to go. And so it's definitely a month that hopefully a lot of people can really learn history and learn more about where we were at and where we're trying to get to.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Arnie Stapleton. Go ahead, Arnie.
Hey, Patrick, you've accomplished so much in your young life so far. And a lot of people, kind of say you're the successor to Tom Brady as far as dominating this NFL. I'm wondering, does it ever cross your mind, that by winning your second trophy, you could keep Brady from his seventh and kind of keep him within your sights as you look at your career?
I think that's more of a long-term thing than kind of the short-term thing you have to kind of focus on. For me, I'm trying to find a way to repeat, find a way to win a second championship, and find a way to do whatever I can to win with this team. You don't get these opportunities every single year in the NFL. to be in the Super Bowl and to be in these games. And so you don't want to look back and have regrets about how you played and how you went about the week of preparing to go out there and play your best football. And then once the end of your career is done, then you can look at those things and see kind of where those moments were in your career where you could have had something or that you executed and you did go out there and get and achieve your dreams.
We'll go next to Doug Farrar. Go ahead, Doug.
Hey, Patrick, thanks for doing this. You guys have become so involved in your short passing game, creating explosive plays through RPOs and screens and all that. When you came to Kansas City and you and Andy and Eric and you all got together, how did that develop? And especially, it seems like in the second half of this season, you really, with Tyreek, obviously, but just kind of go into the short passing game and how you create explosive plays out of that, and it's not just a bunch of deep passes.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the RPOs and those things go, they were already doing the offense was already doing that when I got here with Alex, and I really got to learn not just about why we can throw the ball, we can run the ball, but why we're doing that. I mean, who we're reading, what kind of coverages affects what RPOs we can run, and then we added to that, and we found different ways to execute against every single defense that we faced. And then throughout the beginning of this year, we faced so many deep coverages where teams were taking away all our deep throws. I had to learn when to just take what's underneath, and that's something where I've kind of grown and matured. Is we'll call deep plays still all the time, but if the defenses are going to play that deep, even though I want to, and my heart of hearts of throwing it and downfield and making those big plays, I'll take the underneath stuff and find ways to move the ball down the field that way.
We'll go next to Aaron Ladd. Go ahead, Aaron.
Patrick, good morning. I'm curious how the toe is feeling. I know it was black and blue after the Cleveland game. How are you dealing with that ahead of the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, it feels a lot better. I mean, having these 2 weeks to let it rest and heal up, especially being almost 3 weeks away from over 3 weeks away from the injury itself. And if you look at those type of injuries, that kind of gives you the normal timeline. So definitely every single day that I get the rest, it makes it even better. But it's pretty close to 100%. I'm sure by game day it will be.
And then I saw 390 completions on the year. How many Zoom calls do you think you had this year too?
The more than I'll probably ever have in my lifetime after this. I mean, it seems like I'm on a Zoom or a WebEx or whatever type of call every single day. If not with y'all, with us in our virtual meetings.
Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll go next to Harold Coombs. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Patrick, good morning. Andy Reid just mentioned something about you when he was asked about what the impact you can have on the world. And he says he said about you that you understand people and they're interested in the things that you have to say and believe in, and that's good for any platform you have. Just curious what your thoughts are on what Andy Reid said about you and then how you use your platform to try to impact the world.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're given a platform like I've been given, you want to try to use it and make the world a better place. And I truly mean that when I say that. I have a good understanding of people from all different backgrounds, growing up in the locker rooms, growing up around all different type of people. And I know I have a pretty good job of trying to bring people together, pretty good understanding. And so I'm going to try to do that. And as I continue to learn about different people and different things in life, I'll try to use my voice to continue to try to bring people together and make the world a better place.
Okay, and we'll go last to James Palmer. Go ahead, James.
Patrick, so much of what you do is on the move and running. I'm curious, over the last couple of years, what have you seen from defenses that give you a distinct advantage when you're throwing on the run and you're outside the pocket?
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily what I see from defenses. I think it's the amount of work that our guys continue to do when I'm on the move. For any defense, any defender, the fact that when I'm scrambling, it gives those guys more time to work and more time to get open. It's going to be hard on them, and they try to cover as long as possible. But if I can give guys like Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill and McCole Hardman, Sammy Watkins, all these guys more time to get open, they usually can do it. And then at that point, I try to get them the ball, and usually it's not even that long of a throw, but if you get those guys in space, they make a lot of yards happen after it.
Thank you for your time, Patrick.
Thank you.
Folks, that was Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. And so what we're going to do now is I'm going to go over LeVeon Bell is at his podium now, according to the control system. So I'm going to go over there right now without any further ado and hopefully get in there. And actually, let's go to Sammy Watkins since they were just talking about Sammy Watkins there. I have to put my email in every time I go from room, if you will, to room. Be nice if I could figure out a way to just make it sit there, wouldn't it? Okay, and then I go to the podium. That's closed, and that's podium 1. So let me leave podium 1, leave that meeting, launch this meeting, open that Zoom, and let's try that again. And okay, join that. Still podium 1. That's weird. Let me leave that one. Okay, let me leave that one. That's weird. That's saying podium 1. So let's leave that one. Sammy Watkins is at podium 1, but it's not even coming on. Well, it's not until 2 and 10. So let's poke around here. So we have your perspective, what you see should be me. Yeah. So let me go back here and see what's going on. As you go to a podium and the podium isn't on, right? So it's not activated. So let me close these old rooms and then try that again. So something is not quite right, and it's 10:02. So let's try that again. Launch meeting. This is Sammy Watkins here. There. Join webinar. And then we're at podium 1, and yeah, it's just, see, this is what I'm experiencing, folks. I go to podium 1 where you're supposed to be, and this is what I get. So I'll show you. See, that's podium 1, right? Now, here's the problem. That's podium 1 where you're supposed to be. So let me show you right now what the listing says about where he's supposed to be. And in all this, and I can't seem to call it up. Let me try something else here. That's interesting. All right, so let me go back to, let me close this, refresh the screen at the media center. I'm using 2 different browsers. I'm going to try LeVeon Bell. Join new meeting. Yes, I'm joining a new meeting. Media.net. It's webinar.
Like that.
Yeah, that was always a kind of an idea. That because obviously we knew, at the time, I think we were a game behind the Steelers when they were 11-0, and we was thinking like, oh well, we probably gonna have to see the Steelers at some point, which I was excited about. But obviously it didn't end up happening, and it is what it is. But it's been a fun ride so far.
All right, next we're going to go to Brian Costello. Go ahead, Brian.
For some reason, it's not shifting over.
Hey, LeVeon.
Let me try
just
something.
Curious
Folks.
if you
One
could
moment.
it's been for you, and also I was just curious, when you look back at the time with the Jets, why do you think it didn't work here? Thanks.
It's been an interesting season. I definitely would say the least for me. One of my more intriguing seasons. When I first started the season off, I was with New York and was kind of fighting the uphill battle with, everything that was going on over there. Didn't work out for whatever reason. Ended up coming over here, and I loved this one. The first day I came over here, I loved it right away. I fit in with these guys. I feel like pretty good. Everybody around embraced me. The coaches did too. So, I'm just happy where I'm at, and I'm happy with the way the season went. We just got to cap it off with a Super Bowl win.
All right, let's go to Therese Paler. Go ahead, Therese.
Hey, LeVeon, how you doing today, man?
Doing good.
Hey, question for you. I'm kind of drafting off the Pittsburgh question. You're about to play in a Super Bowl. You got the bag with the Jets. But I'm just curious, were there ever any times, especially during some of the tough times with the Jets, with the losing, where you thought, dang, I wish I hadn't sat out that year?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, that never, crossed my mind. I mean, I feel like, me sitting out, I just got to look at it as like it kind of helped me on the back end of my career because, I mean, literally the year I came back last year, when I came back, it kind of like, it felt like I was reset. I felt like I was a rookie all over again. I was so excited to get back on the field and really just get my gathering back. And so, I don't know, it kind of like reset my body. I feel like it's going to really help me for the end of my career, the long gate of my career.
All right, next we're going to go to Fernando Ramirez. Go ahead, Fernando.
Hi, Le'Veon.
Sorry. Oh.
Hello?
Go ahead. Yep.
Hi, Le'Veon. What does this mean to you to go from your years in Pittsburgh to then the Jets and now be one step away from your first Super Bowl victory?
I mean, everything in the world. Ever since I've been playing this game since the age of 4.5, this has been the reason why you play it. I've watched every Super Bowl. And ever since I was a little kid, since I can remember, always envisioning that I would be in the game. So now that I'm, 8 years into the league, and I finally got here, it's like a dream come true. And I obviously just want to finish the job. I know how long I've been playing this game, and it's tough to get opportunity even playing this game. So I got to leave it all on the field and bring it all.
Next, we're going to go to Angel Wells. Go ahead, Angel.
Good morning, Le'Veon. Describe your relationship with rookie running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and how have you been able to mentor him this season?
Oh, Clyde, me and Clyde, he's one of my closest friends on the team. He's like a little brother. He's the guy that I reached out to before I even came here. He was just so, arms open, welcoming to bring me here. And every little thing that Clyde does, him being a young player, I just kind of let him grow off of it, and if he continues to make, maybe a habit or something, I'll try to maybe help him on the side or whatever. But, he's such a great player, and he runs with instinct so good that, I try not to touch what he does instinctively. Maybe, every now and then, maybe helping him run a route or, pass blocking or whatever, maybe just little detailed things. But instinctively, he's one of the best instinctive running backs you probably ever see, especially being that young. He's a special player.
All right, let's go next to Blair Kirkhoff. Go ahead, Blair.
Le'Veon, your NFL career, you hit the ground running. You piled up big numbers in Pittsburgh, and the numbers aren't there in the same way now. But it seems like the satisfaction level is for you. Can you tell us why this has been a satisfying season?
Yeah, because we're winning football games. I've always been a guy who just want to win football games. Whether I've always said whether I get one carry or 55 carries, I always kind of want to make sure we win the football game. Obviously I came to this team a little late, and they had some things kind of going on already, so I kind of had to hop on board a little bit. But it's just been, it's been fun. It's been a different season, but I'm just satisfied with winning the game. As long as we win the game, that's where I'm at with it, and I'm so happy. That's why this season's been so different, but it's been satisfying to me in a sense that we win the Super Bowl.
All right, next we're going to go to Peter Clark. Go ahead, Peter.
Hi, Le'Veon. I just had a question about when you got cut from the Jets, deciding to go to the Chiefs. You had a couple different options there. What made you want to go to Kansas City?
Man, that thought process was one of the toughest decisions. Yeah, that those 2 days were really tough 2 days for me. But I made the decision to come here, to play with a lot of great players and Coach Andy Reid. But it was obviously a tough decision. Like I said, it probably was tougher than my free agency decision for real. And I made a decision to come here, and I'm happy where I'm at. We're playing in the Super Bowl, and that's what it is. I'm happy about the decision.
All right, let's go to Matt Baker. Go ahead, Matt.
LeVeon, what's the most impressive thing to you about Eric Bieniemy and what he does?
How intense he is all the time. I think, there's not a time that kind of goes by where he's not reminding you, hey, y'all, we got one game left, even it may be week 9, but he just worried about today, and that's the biggest thing about him is he's so worried about, and all he cares about is in the now, helping everybody focus on what's happening now and not worried about next week or 3 weeks from now. I think his focus is really impressive. And he helps the team with with all that, everybody staying focused and disciplined on the task at hand. And he's great at that.
All right, let's go to Krista Patrick. Go ahead, Krista.
Good morning. Thank you for your time and congratulations on making it to the Super Bowl.
Thank you.
It's such an unconventional week with the Zoom pressers. I'm kind of curious, is it all business again this week? Does it feel like Super Bowl week? And is there a moment when maybe the switch will flip for you? Is it when you get off the plane? Is it when you get in Tampa that adrenaline and the energy will kick in, that it is really Super Bowl week?
Yeah, like I said, this year kind of been kind of weird. And I've never been part of like this whole Super Bowl festivities thing, so I don't really know how the week usually go. But it feels like the Super Bowl to me because I'm doing all this, media and extra media and stuff like that, all this Super Bowl stuff. I got the little opinion on and stuff. I'm like, shoot, it's Super Bowl to me. This is a little different because, obviously COVID and everything. But, I'm excited about it. I'm just, with the adrenaline, I'm just trying to stay calm. I just know I'm not playing a football game yet. So I think that the L really, really, really hit me probably like that Saturday. Like that Saturday night, it'll probably be tough for me to sleep. But yeah, I'll be ready.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Raphael Haynes. Go ahead, Raphael.
Hey, LeVeon. Raphael Haynes from the 3-point conversion. I have 2 questions. The first question, when you came to this team, did you notice how close they were? And yes or no, can you talk about how close they are? And do you think that helped them play the way they play and be successful?
When I first got here, that was like one of the first things I noticed is how close the locker room is. It could be a D lineman coming up to talk to Patrick Mahomes or whatever, and it's like they best friends. You know what I'm saying? It don't really matter who it is coming to talk to whoever. Everybody kind of like a family here, and that's literally one of the first things that I noticed when I got here. And I think that's kind of more of me, like more of my culture. I'm kind of an outgoing, spoken guy. I like having fun in the locker room. And that's what these guys do here. Literally everything is fun. Don't get me wrong. We handle business and we go through walkthroughs and practice with business. We have business, but we having fun doing it. It's a lot of fun that goes on, a lot of laughter. So, yeah, this team it's definitely one of the most, bonded and well put together units that I've been a part of.
And then my second question is, you already talked about the business part of the game as far as when you held out and then went to the Jets and they got cut. But does the business part of the game sometimes take the fun out of it? I know you mentioned that, once you got here, you couldn't wait to play. You feel like a rookie again. Does that business part sometimes take the fun out of the game?
It definitely does. Just on certain aspects, though, you can't really – it only depends on how much you allow it to, But in some aspects, yes, it does. The business aspect takes away the fun of the game. But at the end of the day, it's still a game, and you still having fun. And we play a game, for a lot of money, So it's like at the end of the day, you handle your business, but you still want to have fun and do what you love to do.
All All right, let's go to Sherry Cruz. Go ahead, Sherry.
Good morning, LeVeon. Thanks for the time. Wanted to know, now that you joined the Chiefs, do you feel like there is pressure in the locker room to repeat as Super Bowl champions?
Man, we look pressure right in the face. You know, I mean, I feel like, you know, everybody on the outside, maybe it might be pressure for everybody else, but to us, it's like, you know, we go out there, we do what we do, you know, execute, play football. We're not really worried about the pressure. You know, we just kind of, as long as we execute and do what we supposed to do, I feel like we have a good chance of winning the game. You know, so we don't really necessarily, and me personally, I don't really try to listen to the outside noise, and Coach Reid does a good job of expressing that to, you know, the team. It's just worried about what's going on. Let's go out there, execute, be us. I think we'll be fine.
All right, let's go next to Phil Jones. Go ahead, Phil.
Hey, good morning, LeVeon. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
All right. Question. After how things went, you know, leaving Pittsburgh and with your brief landing with the Jets, what does it mean to you to be a part of a running back by committee this year?
It's different, you know. I think, you know, my whole career I was kind of like the guy, maybe get spelled every now and then. This year has been the first time I've been part of like a running back kind of committee thing, and it's been different. Something I've been adjusting to, but it's been, you know, I think it's really gonna help me out for, you know, to elongate my career. You know, I mean, I might get the ball 25 times a game, you know, so it's gonna help me play longer. I like it. You know, you get a chance to, every time I get a chance to go in the game, it's like I'm fresh. It's like I got all the energy. I'll never really feel fatigued because, you know, other guys can come in and give me spells, or I can spell other guys. So it's a good change. It's something different, but, you know, I like it.
I had one more question. That rap album you did when you were joining the Jets, when you guys won the Super Bowl Sunday, you plan on making another music video?
It's done. It's done. I already know. I'm just waiting.
All right now.
Yep.
All right, let's go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, LeVeon. I was just wanting to ask you, what's it been like to get to know Clyde, obviously trying to help him as a rookie, but then getting the opportunity to see Darrel sort of have his moment so far in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, helping Clyde out, just watching him grow over the course of the season has been, you know, an honor for me because I've been watching him get better, you know, each and every week. Obviously, he had the little setback when he got hurt. And I watched him in rehab going hard, just get back on the field. So Clyde got a big ceiling for him. And Dirty, I think he's a guy who he can put everything together, you know, so well, such a smart, savvy football player, been running the ball tough down the stretch. So it's going to be fun. You know, I think, you know, this game, you know, we got some backs that can go in there and get the job done. So it's going to be fun and exciting.
All right, next we're going to go to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, LeVeon, 2 questions. One, I need a little follow-up here on this rap album. You know, like, is this going to be the second, third? What's going on here with this?
I mean, you say it's going to be the second or third what?
The album. Your rap music?
Oh, yeah. I've dropped 5 projects. I got 5 projects out. But, yeah, this next project is already wrapped up. It's ready to go. I'm just waiting for for Sunday to come so we can go out there, try to handle some business so I can get ready for the music stuff, too.
You alluded to this a little bit earlier, but just the running back by committee and how you've been able to play longer, you know, now that you're with Kansas City, you're in the Super Bowl, did this all turn out to be what you wanted it to be when you came to KC?
Exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, I came here to get to this game, you know, and I'm here, you know, so I look at it as like, man, I came to the right spot. I'm happy where I'm at. Now we just got to finish the job, you know. I played this game for so long, and everybody that plays this game should try to get to this game, to the Super Bowl. So as long as I've been playing, I've never played in the Super Bowl. This is going to be my first opportunity, so I'm excited.
All right, let's go to Courtney Smith. Go ahead, Courtney.
Hey, LeVeon. How you doing?
All right, how you?
So, it being Black History Month, everyone's talking about, where we are so far in the world from things that happened this summer. I was just wondering, with all the music that came out this summer around those protests, with the civil rights, movement that had music of their own, is there any music that specifically sticks with you and motivates you when it comes to social justice, or anything that you and your teammates had on repeat that y'all were really listening to during this time?
It's not really a social injustice or social movement song necessarily that I may listen to every single day or all the time, but it was like songs that dropped around that time that I was listening to. I just can't remember all the songs. There was a lot of music at the time, and then we had like a little dry spell where it wasn't really music that's being dropped, and we had a lot of music coming again. So I feel like Lil Baby dropped a whole bunch of music that I liked during that time that I really can remember, but I can't really remember specific songs at that time. It was like a little while ago. So,
all right, let's go next to Joe Shad. Go ahead, Joe.
What's up, LeVeon? Good morning to you. I don't know if you know, I live and work down in South Florida now. So I wanted to ask you about when you had that choice, how close did you come to choosing the Miami Dolphins, and why did you consider
them? That day was that night was kind of a little hectic. It was like the Dolphins was definitely in the mix, and I was like so torn between how much of a workload did I actually want versus like winning, and it's like I don't know. It was just at the time I think I was just in a spot with like the Jets. I was just like so focused on winning. I didn't really care about like how my production would look or how many touchdowns I would score. I think I got so frustrated after losing so many times. So I just wanted to go somewhere where it's like, all right, this year, I think, because I already had missed 3 games with the Jets earlier in the season. So it's like, okay, I'm going to miss about half the games this year. I want to go somewhere to where I'm still going to save my body. I don't have to get much of a workload, but I want to win games too and still help a team win. And I think that's kind of what separates the Dolphins versus the Chiefs. I think with the Chiefs, I knew I wouldn't have to get as much. I feel like if I went to the Dolphins, I might have got a little more. And at that time, it's like I was just so worried about winning. So I don't know. It was just a tough choice, and it's hard to even try to explain it, trying to go through this. But at the end of the day, it was real close with the Dolphins, the Bills, and the Chiefs, and I ended up going with the Chiefs.
All right, let's go next to Dennis Wazak. Go ahead, Dennis.
Hey, LeVeon. Early on, you described this as an interesting and intriguing season for you. As you're sitting here and talking about being at a Super Bowl, how, if you think back to how this season started to now, could you have imagined that you would be in this spot, and how things, kind of this journey for you has taken you from where you were to here? And also, while the Jets were struggling and you were playing in Kansas City, how tough was that for you seeing, your recent teammates, losing and trying to win a game? Were you from afar? What was that like for you?
I don't remember the first question, but the second question, I think, when we played them, we played the Jets during the season. Obviously, I wanted to have a big game. I wanted to go out there and, it was supposed to be like a revenge game, I guess, in a sense. It ended up turning out that way. But I think that kind of opened my eyes up to see like the situation I was in, because there was a lot of players out there. They played hard. It's not like they weren't trying, because like the Jets played hard. I feel like they got a lot of good players over there. I feel like together they just wanted to, playing together for real in a sense. And I sensed that playing against them. All the guys, I still talk to a lot of guys that's over there. I'm still close to a lot of guys over there. A lot of guys still in great spirits. They got a new coach, so things might change over there. I guess time will tell. But right now, I guess I didn't really necessarily when I first came to the season, I didn't see myself in Kansas City, because at the time I'm not thinking, everything's gonna fall out with the Jets and this, that, and the other. So the fact that everything turned out the way it did, me and the Jets had our disagreement. I ended up being a free agent, and I chose to come here. Once I became a free agent, then it's like, okay, now I got to go somewhere so I can win a Super Bowl, because I got out of that situation. It's like, okay, now I got to go somewhere to win a Super Bowl. And, it came between the Dolphins, the Bills, and the Chiefs. And at the end of the day, I ended up going with the Chiefs, and I'm in the game. So I'm glad about the decision.
All right, let's go next to Terrell Thomas. Go ahead, Terrell.
LeVeon, how you doing today, man?
My brother.
I wanted to ask you about Patrick Mahomes and your thoughts seeing him as an opponent and then now seeing him as a teammate. Has your opinion on him changed? And if you gentlemen do win the Super Bowl, are you going to try to get him to get in the booth and hop on the track with you?
All right, the crazy thing about Pat is I've never played against Pat. So I think his first year where he kind of like popped on the scene, I think I was sitting out.
Mm-hmm.
So I never played against Pat, but I've always watched him. I always thought he was like a great player. Then I came here, and then when I came here, that's when it like really hit me like, oh, like he might be the greatest player ever. Because the way he practiced, how he goes about his business. People see the throws and things happen that he does, game and things that's kind of like, I don't know, there's like an accident, but it's not. He practices it so much. Like, I wish y'all could see the throw he do in practice. It'd be unbelievable. But yeah, my idea of like, I thought he was about, I don't know, a 10 before I came here. And now I think he's probably like a 12. That's about it.
All right, let's go next to Adam Beasley. Go ahead, Adam.
LeVeon, I'm also from down in Miami, and I was trying to get in that Dolphin situation a little bit more. The speculation down here is they may have offered more money. Was that correct? And what are your thoughts on what they're building down here?
Say it again. What was the second part?
The thoughts on what they're building down here. You mentioned the Chiefs were more ready to win.
When you say there, are you talking about the Chiefs or the Dolphins?
The Dolphins, what they're building.
Yeah, I mean, I think they got some good young players. Great head coach. They over there, building a great defense too. We played them, and their defense, a really solid defense. Great young linebackers kind of run across the field, run everywhere. So they're building some good things over there. It's gonna be fun to see how they keep growing and how they keep developing. Quarterback young, so it's gonna be fun. We'll see what happens.
All right, let's go next to Mary Page Nesvetter. Go ahead, Mary.
Hi, good morning. Shifting gears a little bit, just wondering, after such a progressive year for women in football and culminating in this history-making Super Bowl for women in on-field positions, what is your hope and what is your anticipation for the future of women in this league?
I'm anticipating obviously more like coaches, referees, trainers. There's gonna be more involvement in women, obviously. And I think it helps. It helps because diversity in the sport of football. The biggest game, biggest sport there is to watch on TV. It only helps. Everybody, nobody wants to sit here and look at guys like me all day.
All right, we have time for one more. Let's go to Anthony Amy to close it out. Go ahead.
All right, thanks very much. Good morning, LeVeon. Congratulations on getting to your first Super Bowl. You mentioned just your journey earlier and the fact that you played for a couple of guys who likely will wind up in Canton, and Mike Tomlin and Andy Reid. You also have Adam Gase there in the middle. When you see someone like an Eric Bieniemy, who you spoke about earlier, is there any doubt in your mind that he belongs as a head coach in the league? And why should his credentials be considered as head coaching material based on the time that you've been with him and what you've seen from him?
I mean, I think you made a great point. I played for like three head coaches, and I know for a fact, just being around EB for how many weeks I've been here, like 10 weeks or whatever, he's definitely a head coach, just the way because I think head coaching, a lot of it's like kind of like leadership skills. Like how much can you, it's not so much of X's and O's. It's about like, well, for me, for a coach, it's like how good can you motivate your players to play for you? You know, whether it's a road game, away game, we won 3 in a row or we lost 3 in a row. Like I said, it can be a Monday and we just got off a win on a Sunday or whatever. Coach behind me, he's like, congratulations for your win Sunday, enjoy it, but just know we got a bigger task at hand this week. You know, he's so singularly focused on the task at hand, and I think as a NFL head coach, that's what you need, and he's like one of the best I've ever met at being able to do that. You know, so there's no doubt in my mind he deserves a head coaching job.
All right, LeVeon, that's all we got. Thank you for your time.
No problem. Thank you. Go Chiefs.
Hey, folks, that was LeVeon Bell up, and got a lot of interesting views about Eric Bieniemy. It's kind of cool, that background, right? You know, over there. But I'm going to poke around and see if there are any other people available. If you have a question, just type it there, and I'll make the question appear here. So, but I believe this is supposed to have ended at 10:30 as a whole, right? So this is 10:31. Let me see. There's a lot of join nows, like, all right, Mike Remmers. Let's see if we can get on Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. No, webinar has expired. So they need to update, or either that, or now they updated them. Okay, now there's no availability now again for those that appeared. And so if we can go back to the calendar, let me check you back to the calendar. It's no secret here. It should be. It should not be, any secret here, right? No need for that. But let me pull up the screen that has the calendar on it so you can see what's next. What's coming on next? And there's the media center. There's the calendar. Boom. Which has popped up. And that white outline, that's today. Okay. That's today. And what it reads is that we have the Kansas City Chiefs assistant coaches and media availability at 11 o'clock right here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this one down, make a new one, and come back at 10:50 because it's 10:32 right now. All right. That goes from 11 until 12. And then after that, we have the NFL Network analyst media availability at 1 o'clock. And then we have the Bucks also at 1 o'clock. So we got 2 places to go. Given that, their Bucks I still want to get, I'm going to go to the Bucks at 1 o'clock rather than in the NFL Network. Because the NFL Network comes on tomorrow for media availability, and then there's another one on Friday. So we'll get several bites at that apple, if you will, but not so many bites at the Buccaneers apple, and the Bucks are in the Super Bowl. Okay, so I'm going to close this one down, start a new one right now. When I say close this one down, close this down for processing as video. And so that will close this. And I want to thank everybody for watching, and please subscribe to Zennie62 on YouTube and bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com, and that ends this broadcast.